Hi, I'm Steve Younis. Welcome to the Speeding Bulletin, your Superman news video recapping the events of the week, October 21st to October 27th, 2016. Our top news stories this week included: a new episode of Supergirl introduces Linda Carter as the president, AT&T is set to acquire Time Warner, and a new episode of our Radio KAL podcast is available to listen to. Let's check out these news stories and more in this week's Speeding Bulletin. It was a quiet week in movie news with just one news item for fans in Newcastle, England, who will want to get along to the special screening of Superman the movie at the Tyneside Cinema next month. Screening as part of the Altered States, a season of films exploring American cinema of the 1970s, Superman the movie will be shown on Tuesday, November 8th at 6 p.m. Tickets can be purchased by calling 0191 227 5500. In TV news, Monday night's new episode of Supergirl was titled Welcome to Earth. Our own T.A. Younis submitted his review for this episode, which you can check out on our website now. Executive producer Ali Adler took us behind the scenes of this week's episode of Supergirl, introducing us to Mon-El, Maggie Sawyer and Linda Carter as the president.
We discover in this episode exactly who that person is, and his name is Mon-El, who's a famous DC character.
Just what I don't need. A rogue Kryptonian on the loose just as the president is due for a visit.
Wait, the president is coming here?
The CW released an official promo for the fourth episode of Season 2 of Supergirl, titled Survivors. When Kara and Alex investigate the murder of an unregistered alien, the trial leads to an alien fight club run by Roulette, the ringmaster who commands aliens to fight in mortal combat for the entertainment of rich humans. While trying to stop the fighting, Supergirl and Martian Manhunter find themselves up against a surprising opponent. Meanwhile, Hank is thrilled to have found another Martian and tries to get to know McGann better. Supergirl takes Mon-El under her wing and begins to train him. This episode is scheduled to air on Monday, October 31st at 8 p.m. The CW issued an official description for the fifth episode of Season 2 of Supergirl, titled Crossfire. In this episode, Supergirl must beat a ruthless new gang who has been armed with dangerous new alien technology. When Cadmus sends a video to the DEO, the team realises Cadmus is the one staffing the criminals for a secret mission. Meanwhile, Kara gets Mon-El a job as an intern at Catco. James makes an important decision and Lena invites Kara to attend one of her fundraisers. This episode is scheduled to air on Monday, November 7th. In comic book news, comic books we reviewed this week included Superman number 9, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who gave it a 5 out of 5, saying, "A deeper story than just fighting monsters on an island." Adam also reviewed Trinity number 2, saying the story is all about bonding, about fatherhood and about family, and he gave it a 4 out of 5 score. Justice League number 7 was reviewed by T.A. Younis, who gave it a 2 out of 5, saying something needs to bring this book back to the promise it showed early on. Superman comics available this week from October 26th include Action Comics 966, which is available in a variant cover, Justice League number 1 Director's Cut, and Superman The Final Days of Superman hardcover. These dinner plates are the perfect addition to your Superman-themed party or celebration. Get this set of 8 Superman 9-inch dinner plates for $7.93. Or how about a Superman 3-piece dinnerware set for $14.98? These and other Superman dinner plates are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. In other news, earlier this week, AT&T and Time Warner announced that they have entered into a definitive agreement under which AT&T will acquire Time Warner. The $80 billion agreement has been approved unanimously by the boards of directors of both companies. This isn't the first time Superman has been connected with AT&T. Back in 1987, AT&T used Clark Kent and Lois Lane in a Super Bowl TV spot promoting the AT&T card, with Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder voicing the characters.
It gives your people enormous abilities.
Sideshow Collectibles announced the upcoming release of their New 52 Superman Polystone statue. Developed in partnership with Prime One Studio, Sideshow presents Superman from Justice League New 52. Crafted in 1/4 scale with great attention to detail and featuring high-quality translucent resin for a lifelike skin effect, you can pre-order your Superman Polystone statue from SideshowToy.com for its release sometime around August to October 2017. Episode 142 of Radio KAL, the monthly podcast of the Superman homepage, is now available to listen to. In this month's podcast, Scotty and I discuss the Kent farmhouse being demolished, Justice League filming wrapping, behind-the-scenes Justice League video, Mark McClure in Justice League, Supergirl Season 2 episodes, James Olsen as the Guardian, the Dominators crossover, more Krypton TV casting, all the latest Superman comic books, and much more. Check it out at supermanhomepage.com/radio. That's all the news there was for the week October 21st to October 27th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone and welcome to another fabulous episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. Now this week I wanted to try something a little different. I wanted to go on live, see who we might be able to reach out to, see who might be out there, who might want to hear a little bit more about me, about Superman, about the Superman homepage, and maybe would like to tune in to some of the things we do there. We also do Radio KAL at the end of each month, the last Wednesday of every month, and that one will be coming up next actually this Wednesday. Today, later on, or if it's not on, might be out there now at Superman homepage. You can see the radio show there. Well, you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to listen to it. Steve and I did do a live camera broadcast on You Now when we were recording, so we recorded a little bit of that. You could see a little bit of how that works and what we do behind the scenes. You can hear the rest of the show and the show in full with sound effects and other things that Steve adds after we talk about all our topics. So a little thing I wanted to talk about is a few months ago I went to Niagara Falls. It was back in March. It was very chilly, and you would hope that it would be warm, but it was cold, and we went up there, and of course in Superman lore and in the history of Superman, and at a time when superheroes were smiley and happy and a little bit cheesy, and didn't matter what was going on in the movie, it didn't matter if cities were getting destroyed, if Zod and crew came from another planet to kill everyone, Superman always had a wink and a smile and a wave, and always seemed to be ready to be laughing and happy any minute, even though people were dying. So back at that simple time in the 70s, there was a little Donner film called Superman 2, and Niagara Falls played a big role in Superman 2. It was the place where Lois Lane figured out her lifelong suspicion that Clark Kent was, in fact, Superman. She goes to a railing, dives over the side and almost drowns, rolls into the shore there where Clark's still acting all stupid. "Oh, Lois, what are you doing?" And proves to her that he is not Superman, but then later on decides to fall into a fire because he feels guilty for lying to her, and then she finds out that, of course, he is Superman, which she knew anyway. But something else that happens at Niagara Falls a little bit earlier in the film, while Lois sends Clark off to get some orange juice, freshly squeezed, I know, he heads to the hot dog stand to do so, and a little boy, whom Clark earlier had saved, crawls over the railing and is playing with the railing back and forth, and he falls over into the falls. And if it wasn't for Clark Kent at the orange juice stand seeing this happen, and then wading through the crowd to get behind the orange juice stand, change into Superman, and then fly down and save him before he fell the 100 feet or so into the falls, the boy would be dead. And then, of course, we bring him up. The mother slaps him around, tells him that how dare he embarrass her, and twice in two Donner movies that are about Superman and happiness and fun and positivity, in Superman the movie and in Superman 2. Two of the biggest things they like to show us is child abuse, both physical and emotional. The one girl gets slapped for telling lies in the first movie, and she wasn't lying, and this boy gets slapped around for falling off of a waterfall. Now, granted, if I was his mother, I'd be annoyed too, because I was so inattentive to my own child that I was paying attention to whatever else was going on and allowed him to go crawling over the side and go falling into the fall. So, what I wanted to tell you was that I thought it was odd that there was no place where this could have actually happened when I was at the falls myself. I not only asked park rangers, but I also looked around for these spots, and there was no concourse where there was a spot that a boy could crawl over the fence, hang there, and then fall with the falls behind him and all around him, and then fall before Superman could get to him. There was no place where Lois could walk down this long winding path and an upside down turned boat was there where then she could throw herself over the falls and see if Clark would turn into Superman to save her. There were no spots like this. There were spots where you could crawl over the fence and fall to your death, but it was either on the rocky shore below, or it was on top of a building, or it was into a bowl of water that then went into the falls. There was a spot up by the concourse where it was all flat water, but it was all rushing toward the falls. And if the boy would have crawled over there, which was possible, he would have just fallen into the water about 10 feet below. He wouldn't have been hurt, but then he would have been rolling toward the falls, and Superman would have just scooped him up out of the water and picked him up. It wouldn't have been as dramatic. So in movies, especially movies about flying men and women who can't see past the glasses to tell that they're a superhero, they sometimes take little corners and cut them off and say, this could have happened, even though we know it couldn't. And as a Superman homepage reporter, opinionator, sometimes writer, I probably should have filmed while I was there and shown you myself this, but now you'll just have to take my word for it. And thankfully, there's no punishment for not doing the right thing for the Superman homepage. So there aren't any, hey, who are you? Hey, you can't do this. Get out of here. Hey, what are you doing? Let me go. Hey, ding, 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 ding,
No, don't do it. No.